Welcome back, everyone. So, it's been a while. I haven't really recorded a video since, I don't know, 6 months. So, I might be a little bit rusty, but today we are going to do the yearly review of what happened this year and what I'm going to do, going to be focusing next year, because that was very interesting. And my year was really kind of had the first part of the year, which was I was doing stuff, but also I knew that on the money side, and I was really getting tight, and I needed to get my business going. But I didn't want to give up on my goal of the year to reach 130 miles per hour and so on. And so I was kind of working and training a lot, and then I reached a point at the middle of the year where I had to take decision. But anyway, I'm going to show all of that right now. Let me share my screen. So something very funny, because I look back, because this year all of just everything that you see here, it was videos that I turned this year. Insane, because at the beginning of the year, so where did it start? It started, I posted an obscene amount of videos this year. It started this right here. So, and actually I watched it just before making that video. It was very interesting to see the insight of where I was coming from going to this year and everything. So, very interesting. But, so I was starting this year with the goal of going to 130 miles per hour and really working on my swing. And so that's what I did. And I wanted to document the journey every single day, posting a video every single day. And so that's why there was so many videos. For the first 6 months, I pretty much posted every single day. And every time I didn't have kind of a training video, at some point I think I was training 6 days a week. Something like that. To make sure I have a video to release every single day. And so for the first part of the year, it was kind of really a lot about... you know what? I'm going to show you just the spreadsheet just after, but it's just that. So on the content side, what I've posted for 6 months straight, every single day, and documenting all my journey, entire journey of getting up in speed. And as you can see on the thumbnail, progressively, my speed starting getting faster and faster. 116 right here, 115.5. 117, 117, 119, and those are average for the session. So it means I was starting to get really fast. 118.6 average for the session, and until right here. So let me share what happened. Here, that was kind of the first phase. Let me put... Oh no, you know what? I'm good here, because so the first part was kind of the part where I wanted to kind of lose fat and work on technique. So I was getting to it. The speed was really low because I wasn't really focused on speed that much. I had kind of my goal of getting my swing as close as to Rory's swing as I possibly can. And also, I'm all over the place. Sorry for that. This, what you see here, is actually the first year that I did that, which is what professional athletes call an annual plan. And so an annual plan is simply you just lay out all your training for the year and training blocks and what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it, and what you are going to do on a monthly basis, relatively speaking, to get to your goal. But that was kind of the first year that I did that, so I didn't really know what to do or what to expect. So I kind of tried my best to just give it a try and give my best. So first was the build part, where I released just, okay, you know what, I was getting back to fitness, because during December, January, I don't do anything, so I needed to get back to fitness, lose a ton of fat, because I've gained a lot of fat at the end of the year, and yeah, so pretty much all of that. So it went pretty well on the losing fat side. It's just that this week right there, I think that was the week where I was away on vacation for. I was going to ski, And so I had to kind of finish my cut, even though I didn't really reach the goal of 10% body fat that I wanted. So that was unfortunate, but still, in I mean, 8 weeks, I dropped from 17.2 to all the way down to 12.6% body fat. So that's great. That's already that's very interesting. But I'm going to explain also what I've learned during that and what I think I'm going to do different this year, because even though it worked, the way I did it was kind of let me show you. So I was kind of doing this 1,000 reps workout, so which is something where I try to do 1,000 reps of, so this is 10 exercise with 10 reps per exercise, so that's 100 reps per round, and you do 10 rounds of those, and you try to get to do it as fast as possible. And so I was kind of recording how fast I was going, and so I've been able to get it under 1 hour. But here's the, to get all of that done in under 1 hour, that's require a level of fitness that is just insane. And also, more importantly, it was so brutal. That's not something that is sustainable. And so it allowed me to kind of burn a ton of fat. Also, what I did is, since I was training every single day on the golf side to kind of work on my technique, eating between 100 and 200 balls a day, I was burning a lot of calories using those two things, which allowed me to gain to lose a ton of fat. So that the first part, the only thing that I want on the technique side, I did what I wanted to do. I just improved my swing. That's it. I didn't really get exactly close to Rory's swing. I still had a lot of things to figure out, but which I believe I have figured out over the course of this year. But at that point, I didn't. And on the fat loss phase, I mean, it was okay. What I was actually very surprised to is, when you do things right on a phase where you are losing fat, you're eating your protein amount that you need, and I started using creatine, which I never used before. And so what was surprising is, during that phase where I was actually losing a lot of fat, I actually gained also a lot of strength because of creatine, because I never used it before. And so that was very surprising. I gained muscle because if you actually, I peaked at 61.5. 61. Yeah, I started taking creatine, gaining muscle as I was already starting to lose fat, but then I was getting very deep into the fat burning phase. And so, even though I'm still I've been able to maintain my muscle mass, I wasn't able to keep going up. Where at the beginning, I actually started a little bit going up. Anyway, so but that's not just the muscle mass; it's also the strength gain that I made in the gym. So that was very insane. Anyway, so first phase of the year was kind of okay. I lost fat and I improved my technique. I was fine, but I was very, very slow. So it was time to get into the actual phase of training. First, after 2 months of hard training, I took kind of this month to kind of get in a transition for me to the next phase. The next phase was which is all about starting to gain speed consistently. But on the opposite of what I did the year before, where I was focusing on max speed, here what I did, I was focusing on average speed. And so I started just, okay, you know what? I'm just going to use a periodized approach like you do in the gym, where each week, for instance, you add 10 pounds. Well, here, each week, I was adding 1 mile per hour of my target average speed for the session. What I mean is, I'm going on, I'm warming up, and when I take the driver, my goal is to finish the session with an average above 110. So it's not my max. I don't need to hit as hard as I possibly can, but I need to make sure I am above 110. And so 110 for me was relatively easy, because as I explained to you here, I was really not focusing on speed at all. Was even slow, starting to swing slow, just to be able to perform the technique that I wanted. So I started getting back to something that I feel more comfortable. And so what I realized is, actually it was relatively easy for me, because I've gained strength. And and just the strength alone allowed me to kind of make some good progress. But that wasn't so that was kind of the transition where I started getting strength a lot more as I was recovering from the dieting and everything. My neural system was kind of fresh again because I wasn't forcing myself too much. You see 110, 111, 112 was the target here. This column is the target, and this is the actual result for the entire week. So here I've been able to average 110.4 for the entire week. So above 110, perfect. Not asking for much than that. 113, 115. So as I was recovering, I was able to gain more and more speed without even trying. So that was great. And then at that point, I figured, okay, there is a very big correlation between my strength gain and my speed gain. And so I started kind of looking at the PR that I got for my bench, squat, and deadlift. So when after my deload, because this week was a deload, and you can see that here was stabilization, but then strength hypertrophy. So what I did is I started just getting back and try to gain strength again. And speed starting to rise progressively, smoothly. Then I got injured. I got injured multiple times actually this year. I think one was right there. I didn't write it in the spreadsheet, but I injured my glute somewhere here, then my back somewhere here. Yeah, because when you start lifting heavy on squat, something I didn't realize, I wasn't using a belt. Because I didn't want to, and I didn't feel that there was a need for me to be stronger using a belt. But the belt is also helping you not getting injured. Go figure. So basically that was, I was tired during that session. And so I went on to do my 140 or 150, I don't remember. No, 160. It was for 160 I went. I went for 160 and my back, when I went back up, my back cracked. And so nothing really bad. It's just that then my muscle was kind of tight around my spine. Not very easy both to swing or keep training. So I took a little bit of unexpected break that week. Then a kind of a deload week before getting back to it and actually training. So the schedule that I had initially kind of went a little bit out of whack. But what was interesting is I've been able, when I get back to it, to keep increasing my speed and kind of maintaining, but I was starting to struggle making gain in the gym because the issue is I was really pushing hard on the free lift, but here's the deal. When you train speed and strength, all of that is training the neural system to fire more efficiently to produce either force or either speed. And the issue is when you do speed training and strength training, I was taxing my nervous system so much that I started having issue making gain in the gym because I was just too tired. And that was difficult. And the deload that I did take wasn't enough anymore for me to recover well. So that kind of a lot of things that also I just know that I had a knee injury as well. Anyway, yeah, and there is a reason why I started getting more and more injured. Probably because of the systemic fatigue that was rising and going through the roof. So even though I was able to kind of get faster and faster with my swing, the systemic fatigue starting to rise way too much. And here's what happened then. So that's something I didn't really talk a lot. I mean, I did mention in a few videos, but I knew that by the end of this year, I was going to run out of money. I knew it. And so at the beginning of the year, I was kind of trying to build a business, helping people build business. I mean, I was kind of a little bit out of whack, didn't really know where to go. And something kind of struck me. I don't really remember what was kind of the eureka moment. I know what it was. It's actually, I was kind of figuring out how to make content and what to make content about to help people build business. And some of the things and actually I was learning a lot while I was doing that. And one of the things that I have learned during that time and realized that I was making a mistake is when you get started, it's very difficult to get started from nothing. And you need something for people to trust you at least a little so they can give you money and you start growing. And so I was facing a massive issue with authority with the business that I was trying to grow. And so I realized, okay, I don't have any experience in building business, and so that's why probably making a business on the idea of helping people make a business doesn't really help. It just that since building a business was the thing that I was interested at the moment, I was talking about it and creating content about that. But I realized, okay, so if I take a step back and forget about everything that I've just done, me, what do I have that can make people believe that I have some interesting insight to share? Well, I've been playing golf for over 15 years now, and I've trained a lot, well over 10,000 hours, and I believe I have accumulated a lot of knowledge and insight that can truly help golfers improve their game. And when I realized that, I realized, yeah, I just need to focus. Because here's the issue. I want to become a pro player. I want to get on the PGA Tour and everything. And so for me, teaching golf, it feels a little bit like a failure. I did not achieve my goal to become a player, and so I have to teach to make a living. And that was why I was trying to do other stuff that wasn't related to golf. But I realized that something even worse than that would be ending that year without anything. No business, no money, and having to go back and go get a job, and literally almost having to quit on my dream because I didn't know what I would be able to do to get back on track. And so I decided, you know what? Yeah, the issue is there. It's not an ego, it's just a fear or an identity crisis that was preventing me from doing the things that I knew I needed to do. So here on that specific week, actually that was the week before, I decided to go all in on golf. Actually build a business around golf. And you know what? If that's the thing that helped me keep my dream alive, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. And so my idea is, okay, so I have a ton of knowledge about everything. Where do I start? I was thinking about creating an online course for me to be able to help people break 80, because I thought, okay, me at the level I am at the moment, I am a scratch player. I'm able to score consistently, not saying under par, but somewhere around par. So I don't feel yet comfortable explaining to people how to score to scratch level. Once I get to my kind of goal of being able to score between 5 and 10 under on the course, I will feel comfortable explaining to people how to get to scratch level because I went through it and I was past it. So I will have figured it out. Because here's the deal. To help people get to scratch, where they have a normal life, a normal busy life, I need something more than what I'm doing. Me, I have a lot of time to train. I trained a lot. And so I don't consider that I have a scratch level because of the thing that I figured out. I have a scratch level because I am training a lot. So that's why I want to get to 5 and 10 under. And once I reach that point, I think I will have figured out the things that I need to explain to people that might not have the time to train that much to be able to get to scratch level. And so I figure, okay, scratch player are not necessarily the players that I want to teach at the moment because I don't feel comfortable yet. And that was also because of everything that I've learned. Okay, you want to be an authority, you want to feel comfortable with the fact that you know what you're talking about. And so I figure, okay, but something that I can do, and I know for a fact that I know exactly how to do it and how to explain to people how to do it, is how to break 80 consistently, scoring and get into single-digit handicap. I have figured out golf enough for me to be able to explain that very clearly and get anyone to get to that level. So, okay, I have the course and I have what the course should be about. And so I figured, yeah, but you know what? Just because when you create an online course and making the video and everything, just let's get back to when you create video and everything, it's like trying to do everything at once is very difficult. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to start by writing a book. I know that might sound a little bit daunting, but you know what? First, focusing on the content rather than the production, I think it's much easier, and that's what I did. So I started writing a book and using AI to kind of, because I think AI, when you use it right, is really good to produce a lot. But a lot of people, when they are using AI, they are using it the wrong way. And actually, it's not about just letting the AI write. What I did is I wrote down a lot of stuff, enormous. I just dumped my entire brain, and progressively I was building the outline of the book. As I was dumping my idea to the AI, we started still working together on the outline. Because I wasn't using the AI to produce the content, I was dumping the content from my head, but in a very messy, unstructured way, and using the AI to actually put it all together in a structured format that actually makes sense. And so that's how you want to use AI if, for instance, you want to do it yourself. And so that went pretty fast. In pretty much 30 days, I had my, because once I have the outline, it's just about dumping even more ideas into each section and asking the AI to kind of write the final polished version and so on. But for me, that's not a final version. That's a first draft. And so I got my first draft within 30 days. I think by the end of July, actually, I started writing during the wedding of my sister. During, let's get back to it. During that week. And when I came back here, that week I finished the book. So it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to finish the book, the first draft of the book. And that's where I realized something very important, because I was kind of a point. Okay, I need to make it work. I know I'm going to run out of money by the end of the year. But on the other side, I have that goal of reaching 130. And so that week was kind of a fork in the road for me, where I realized the pros of keep going with the training wasn't worth the risk. And what was the risk is the fact that training is very tiring. I needed to put every bit of my energy, of my being, into building a business that works and start making money in some way, shape, or form as fast as I possibly can. And unfortunately, training was distracting me from that goal. It was kind of getting energy out of what was my main goal, making money, because it's all about what is the most important thing. And at the moment, it's not my golf level that is preventing me from reaching my goal, even though it is a little bit. But what is the bottleneck at the moment was the money. Yeah, if I don't have money, my dream is dead. So I took a really harsh decision, because as I show you, I posted every single day for 200 days in a row. So I was really committed to reach that 130 goal, and I really hate coming back on my word. I am a man of my word, and when I say I'm going to do something, I do whatever I can to do it. But I have a much bigger goal than 130. I want to go to the PGA Tour and go to the US and compete. And the 130 goal is just a step to get there. But if that step is going against what I need to do right now to get to my final goal, I'm going to stop. And so that's what I did. I stopped. And so that's why everything you see after was just projection. I think that week was kind of the final week. I did one last session to train. But after that, all of that was kind of projection of what I wanted to do after, which I didn't. So what happened is what I'm going to show you. First, so that's I'm going to that's at the end. But so what I did is I took my book and starting creating this, the Road to Single Digit Handicap course, which is the entire book that I've written, but with videos. It's just videos upon videos of the entire course. And so that during the month of July is pretty much the only thing that I did. I written the script for all 50 videos. I recorded all 50 videos. And when I say 50 videos, that's not even, that's only scratching the surface, because you see the technique masterclass here and the top 10 secret. That also I recorded during August. Sorry, it's not, it's August. It's August. No, that's not that. July, I kind of finished the book on July, and August, I went to work to start creating all of that. And so I created, because first of all, I wanted to kind of have, because here's the deal. I'm building a business. So a business, you kind of have multiple phases. First, you have the lead magnet, which is something that is going to attract leads, people that are potentially going to buy your product. And then you have the product, the thing that they are going to want to buy. And so I created the top 10 secret to break 80. Excuse me, not top 10 secret. The top 10 swing fix. Top 10 secret, something later I'm going to talk about. I created the top 10 swing fix, which worked pretty well. It attracted a lot of email from that, but didn't really convert into any sales. And also I created a technique masterclass to kind of create a package with the main course to kind of bring more value to people. But here's the deal. 50 videos plus the other 30 and 15 of the two other. That's an obscene amount of work, especially for editing. And I knew I needed to make money as fast as possible. But I knew that to finish editing all of that and get a final product, it would take me like 2 to 3 months. So I was kind of in a place where, okay, I know what I want to do, but it's not going to be ready anytime soon. So I need to figure out a way for me to make money before it's even finished. And so I started thinking about pre-selling the course, and as I'm starting selling it with a price tag that is much lower. And as I'm releasing more and more modules for the course, kind of increasing the price. So that's what I tried at the beginning. I think it was during the month of August, as I was building up that course and everything. And after month of August, I realized it just doesn't work that well. So what I did then is, even before, because I figured out it didn't work because people don't want to buy from a guy that they don't know about, because I was running ads on Instagram, and so people don't know anything about me, and selling them something that is not finished is not a very compelling argument, and I figure that's why it didn't really work. It really didn't matter how low I was putting the price; people just didn't want to buy. So I decided to study a little bit of how marketing work and what are the kind of the best practices. And so what I did is I started making some live webinar. And so that's where the top 10 secret to break 80 came from. So I created an entire presentation of slightly over 1 hour, and run it as a webinar. I did a few live and then tried to automate it. It was early September. And so I tried that, and because I figured that was kind of the thing that should work. That was kind of the best practices that people were talking. You need to create a webinar and so on. But same problem. The product wasn't finished yet. People didn't really. I don't know why. And that was also the issue. With the first one, where I was kind of just having my ads, and then they were landing on a landing page, I was kind of having a video sales letter and everything, but people won't buy, but I didn't know why. I didn't know if there was an issue with my offer or anything, and that was very frustrating. And same with the webinar. People were watching through, not buying. I don't know if that was because the product wasn't finished or if just they didn't really feel like it was a good fit for them. So I was lacking a lot of information and I didn't know what to do. And so at some point, but I keep working on that. And so by the end of September, everything was finished, but yet I wasn't making any sales yet. And so I was really kind of struggling to figure what I was missing. And that's where I started thinking about restructuring my offer to something that is more premium. Because what I realized is the course that I've shown you give you kind of all the information, but people don't. Having the information is good, but between having the information and being able to implement it, that's a very big gap. That's a very big gap. And so what you want is something that is going to take people by the hand and help them achieve a specific goal. And so even though I had the specific goal of breaking 80 with that course, I didn't have a system or a program to help people step by step get there. And so that's what I started working on mid-September when I realized it didn't work. And working on another type of funnel that actually is known as high ticket funnel, where the idea is completely different and actually was solving a lot of issues that I was facing. Where instead of having people just watch a webinar or go on your landing page and they either buy or they don't, the way it works, high ticket offer, is people see an ad and then they get on the phone with you. And you're going to talk and understand their situation. And at the end, if you think this is a good fit, you're going to propose them to join your program, your training program, where you are going to take them by the hand and get them to the goals that they want, which for me is helping them break 80. And as I told you, the main issue that I was facing was that I didn't know why people didn't want to buy, or I didn't have any feedback. Where when I restructured that approach, it made a lot more sense, because now I'm getting people on the phone. On Zoom call. But so it makes it so much easier now. I'm chatting with them. I see what they are actually struggling with. And so it started popping up a lot more. And I realized that was the way to go. Having a clear goal with a clear deadline, because even though the course helps them break 80, it's going to take how long? 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? I don't know. And that's where the program where I'm helping people now break 80 consistently within 90 days and guarantee or they don't pay. They have a clear target, they have a clear mind, and they know what to expect. And also, I've kind of restructured my training program, and I'm going to show you exactly. I've built so even though you have kind of all the videos here, you have all the videos, but you have this training program with 5 phases. And so each of those phases is going to help you walk you step by step to the actual to break 80 consistently and get into single digit handicap. And that's what my clients are now getting with me. When they join me, they have access to the full program. So there is a lot of text and nuances to go through. But for instance, that looks like this. But as you can see, since I have made a lot of videos, here I have kind of a link to to each video that is related to that specific page. So that way, the text is a lot more in depth than the video, but the video is here to kind of give you a very quick, at a glance, idea of what this section is about. And so that's mainly what I completely changed. A big training program to help people go from where they are to actually the goals they want to achieve. And I was really struggling, because I told you that I was running out of money by the end of the year, which actually it wasn't. It was even higher than that. I was actually running out of money by, I believe, mid-October. Yeah. So when I realized and started making that shift, it was early September. So I didn't have a lot of money left, and I needed to spend the money for the ads. And so what I did is actually I sold my car, which gave me about 15K in saving, which allowed me to kind of have enough money to get the business started. And so it went a little bit difficult as it just was time to figure things out. But by mid October, I started getting clients, and so I was really happy about that. And so things started moving in the right direction. I started making money. So the year ended relatively insane. Honestly, at some point, I was thinking I was about to go completely broke. I was really desperate to find a solution. But that update, the change, the pivot that I made, just made the world difference. So I'm not completely out of the gate yet, because I have a lot of people. Some are almost finished the program, some are definitely finished. But anyway, since I have a very strong guarantee that if they don't achieve the goals they want, I refund them, I'm still not comfortable, because a lot of people can still want their money back. So even though I'm making money and everything, I'm not comfortable yet. But on the opposite of where I finished the year, where I need to go all in and stop training entirely, now going into 2026, I redo my annual plan, and I'm going to get back to training. But I still need to work insanely. I have a ton of work. I need to take care of my clients and everything, and I need to focus also on trying to grow and scale the business to the point where I can actually spend a lot of time training golf. Because that's kind of the issue is, okay, now I have a business, but I don't really have time to play golf or train. But here's what I saw last year. Strength gain is the most important thing for me to gain speed. It's not even close. I don't believe that the actual speed training, it helped actually going on the range and hitting ball, but that's nothing compared to strength. And also, I had an issue, as I told you, by training speed and strength at the same time. My nervous system was wrecked, and I was way too fatigued. So, first thing first, I'm going to get back to the gym. No more than 3 times a week. I think I can fit 3 times a week without having it kind of being an issue with the work I need to do on my business. I think I can do that. And I'm going to focus on, because these are things that I think I can still do. I hope I can, because I just didn't train at all for December. So I hope I can at least do 1 rep of 140, 1 rep of 100, and 1 rep of 180 with the deadlift, which is in kilograms. And so my goal for this year is going to reach 10 reps at 140, 10 reps at 100 on the bench, and 10 reps at 180 on the deadlift. The reason that I'm not increasing the weight, but rather increasing the reps, is because it's much more efficient in terms of stimulus to fatigue ratio, which is something that I really didn't consider last year. So, that really kind of failed me a lot. Let's be honest, that's the main thing that completely crashed me and probably got me injured. So what I want to do is use that periodized approach, and also that's much easier. I don't have to think. I know exactly what kind of weight I'm going to put on the bar each week, and I'm just focusing on a periodized approach where each week I increase by 1 reps, taking 1 week of deload and getting back to it, and just trying each mesocycle, so each month, because on the opposite of last year, I kind of tried to create an annual plan based on a tournament on the PGA Tour, just to have something that looked like the pros. You know what? I'm probably not going to compete at all this year. I don't have a lot of events. I don't have anything except I need to work on my business and get shit done. So, and that's something I actually teach in my program, is how to build an annual plan that fit regular people with a regular life. And the best and easier way to do is just going by month. Each mesocycle is a month, and the weeks that transition from one month to another. For instance, if you have, like this week where I'm recording that video, 1st of January is just in the middle of a week, that week is a deload. And so you have 3 weeks of full week for the month, and the week that is kind of in between 2 months, where you have the end of the first month and the beginning of the second, this is a deload week. And so that's a week where you kind of take it easy if you don't know a lot about periodization. And also you have kind of, it's not necessarily quarterly, but you want to do 3 months of training, 1 month of maintenance to recover from the training phase. Because if you just keep going for an entire year, you will accumulate way too much systemic fatigue. So that's what this month is about. So January, February, March, overload. I'm going to keep trying to increase the number of reps. Then 1 month of maintenance. I'm not trying to do much. Then I'm getting back to it. June, July, August, to really get close to the 10 reps per lift. And then getting back September, same, boom, kind of recovery months, and then October, November to reach the goal, and December, which is off. As I told you, I like to have off December so I can get back full blown on the year just after. So yeah, I kind of have learned a lot of stuff with the periodization that I tried for the first time last year, and the main thing that I've learned is be more humble with the gain you want to do. You see that I'm not putting a lot of because what's going to kill you at some point is the fatigue. And so if you try to push too much too quickly, you will burn out and you will not be able to sustain it, and you will be forced either by getting injured or because your progress are stalling. In some way, shape, or form, you will be stopped in your progress. So by actually trying just to get, for instance, here I'm just trying to get 1 more reps per mesocycle. For instance, the first week on the first mesocycle is 1 reps. My only goal is simple. By the first week of the next mesocycle, just do 1 more reps. That's it. 1 more reps. 1 more reps. Each mesocycle, 1 more reps. Then I have kind of the recovery months where here I'm just trying to maintain. So I'm just going, I don't know, I need to see, because here that's really just a rough guess of how low I can go with the recovery. Maybe because here I will finish at 6 reps. I don't know if 2 reps is too little. Maybe I don't know if I need to go back to 3. I don't know, to 3 or 4. That's something I will need to figure out. That I'm not really sure. Anyway, so that's kind of first side on the training. So going back to the gym 3 times a week and focusing on strength, but also I want to start focusing on power, because that's also something that I figure out is now I've reached kind of the benchmark level in terms of strength. I need to kind of get to the 180 squat or 140 bench and 220 kilogram deadlift to be sure that strength is no more a limiting factor in my ability to generate speed. But I also know that now I've reached a point where power training become much more important. And so that's why I don't know how much I'm going to emphasize that, and because power training, like I'm going to have kind of 3 main categories. But power training is also a lot about training kind of the nervous system. So I need to be very careful with that and not crash down like I did last year, and really kind of try to work things out. But and also what I think I'm going to do, I'm not going to try to push for overload that much, but what I want is getting into the habit of working on power through 3 things. Olympic lift, mainly the power clean. Jumping, which mainly is going to be dictated by the progress are going to be dictated by my ability to improve my vertical jump. And sprint. But sprint, not necessarily in terms of acceleration, but rather top speed. Because in the golf swing, this is really about the top speed rather than the acceleration. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but the way you need to think about it in the golf swing, the acceleration happens at the top, but this is also at the moment where the shaft is pulling you in the other direction of where you're trying to go. So you're trying to go down, but the club is still moving that way. So this is something that in some way is very slow. And so at the top, it's a lot more about raw strength rather than power, rather than how much power you are able to produce. I mean, that's still important, but the strength aspect, because power is speed times strength. And so at the beginning of the movement, it's a lot more about strength than speed. But what happens when you are reaching the impact area is actually it's a lot about speed. It's no more about strength, because the club is already moving really fast. And what is very difficult to do is moving fast enough for you to not decelerate the club. And that's something that a lot of people don't really realize is they think they are not, what they think is they are not able to accelerate the club enough. But the truth is they are not actually able to move their body fast enough to not decelerate the club. Because once you finish the transition and the club starts accelerating, gravity takes over and the club starts accelerating to a point where if you are not able to move fast enough, your body, your mass is actually going to decelerate the club. And so what you need to understand is in the impact area is much more about your top speed, your ability to move quickly rather than accelerating quickly. Which is the difference between, for instance, are you able to kind of move really fast at 30, like at 18 or 20 miles per hour sprint? So this is kind of your top speed. Or are you able to accelerate very quickly over 10 yards? That's kind of the difference. The 10-yard acceleration is going to produce massive power. But that's not the speed you want. The speed you want is the 20 miles per hour. I'm saying 20 miles because I don't know in miles per hour. Just I know in terms of kilometers per hour, it's 30 kilometers per hour, which is kind of the metric I use. So that's kind of the goal I kind of want to reach. And because it's a lot about just moving fast. So anyway, since I don't know where I'm going to start from, even though I kind of put some numbers, I have no idea if that's the right number. I have no idea I'm already able to do that, or if So pretty much this entire year is going to be about figuring out this power aspect and making some gain, because also in terms of training, the strength training is very straightforward. You need to do the main lift and some hypertrophy work, because strength is first you need your nervous system to be strong, and you need muscle mass, because the more muscle fiber you are, the stronger you're going to get. But this one is pretty straightforward. Power training, I haven't yet figured out all the detail, so I'm going to work a lot on that, trying to just do it every single session and trying to figure out a flow that works for me and see how that translates to actual gain. Then in terms of speed training, here's the deal. First of all, I haven't reached my goal of 130 miles per hour. So that's still pending. I as I told you earlier, I am a man of my word. I said I'm going to reach 170 miles per hour. I am not gonna give up on that. So that's something. And also, I sold my car, so I cannot go to the golf course yet. Even though the business starts making money, and probably soon I will be able to buy a new car. At the moment, I don't. And also, I don't, because getting to the golf course, training and coming back is take a lot of time. So, and I need to work a lot. So what I'm thinking is using the speed stick, because for the entire year, but same deal as I did last year for the speed training with my driver, where I was focusing more on the average speed rather than the top speed. I think I'm going to do that as well for the speed stick, because I was also trying to kind of work on the top speed with the speed stick. But when I see how much result I got from just training consistently and trying to improve 1 mile an hour at a time with the driver, and just trying to do that, I figure, you know what, I might just do that as well with the speed stick, and actually adding the shaft, which is something I highly not encourage you to do. I'm going to explain what that is, but also, so before I explain, so what I did is same periodic approach, same deal. Here I was kind of adding reps. Here I'm going to add 1 mile per hour, and and last year I was kind of going for maybe 2 miles per hour jump per mesocycle, which was a little bit too much. And same, I don't want to accumulate too much fatigue. I need to be careful and make sure I'm able to maintain it for the long run and not get injured. So that's why what I did here, I just put 1 mile an hour gain per mesocycle. That's only what I want to do. So let me explain. So those are kind of the 3 sticks that you usually have with the speed stick on the super speed protocol. Let me bigger. So I believe, so that's kind of my goal by the end of the year. Because for me to be able to reach, at least get close to 130 miles per hour with my driver, I think I need to reach kind of those goals with, at least, what I'm thinking is, if I am able to reach those goals with the speed stick, reaching 130 miles per hour next year in 2027 is going to be easy. So that's kind of what because the blue stick is lighter than the driver. So if I'm reaching only 130 miles per hour with the blue stick, I'm not going to be able to reach that kind of speed with the driver. But here's what's important. Here, it's not about max speed, as I told you. It's about average speed. So if I'm able to average something above those speed for an entire training session, week after week, and really feeling comfortable that I can do that without much effort, then I'm pretty confident that I will be able to reach 130 with my driver. Now, let's talk about this one. What is shaft? And why is the speed so much higher? Because that's just what it is, a shaft without a head at all. And there is a very big reason why I just don't encourage anyone to try that. There is more chance that you get hurt than anything. Because you're going to swing a shaft that doesn't have a head. So absolutely no resistance. And so that's just how fast you're able to move your body. And the issue is, when you have even slightly issue is inconsistency or weakness in your swing, your joints are going to take to just get hurt because of that. The weakness in your swing are going to directly hurt your joint, your ligament and everything. So this is very dangerous. But here's the deal. What I've learned over the last year is how to apply more force to the club. To the point where now the club is all, the weight of the club, I'm applying so much force and I've become so strong that the weight of the club become almost negligible, especially the green one. The green one, I don't even feel it anymore. Oh, I mean, I still feel it, but it's very light. And so what happened when I take a shot? It just doesn't change much my swing. Actually, almost at all. And so it's become just about how fast I'm able to move my body. Because since I'm applying ton of force to that shaft that doesn't have any weight, it doesn't. I don't have any weakness that can hurt my ligament. And so I'm able to swing as fast as my body is actually able to swing. And I've been mesmerized. Because until now, because here there is no weight. So it just means that whatever speed you have is how fast you are able to swing. And if you cannot swing faster than that, you just cannot swing faster than that. And so over the last year, I've kind of tried that a lot. And when my technique wasn't right and I wasn't able to maintain the line the right way, go figure, I was actually swinging the same speed as the green one. Insane. And as I improved my swing earlier this month, I kind of tried with the shaft again. And what I felt is I was able to slightly be a little bit faster. And I think I figured things out to the point where now shaft training is actually making sense. And for me, because here's the deal, if you kind of do the motion ever slightly wrong, your right hand, or you're going to release the lag soon. Since the shaft has no weight at all, the lag is going to release instantly. Where with the red one, which is really heavy and so on, the weight is going to lag the club behind a little, even if you are kind of messing things up in terms of sequencing and everything. But with the shaft that has no weight at all, the technique just needs to be perfect. You need to maintain perfect lag all the way until impact. Otherwise, the club releases too early and then you lose ton of speed. And so I've been able to get some really nice one and get my first over 140 with the shaft. Because there is something I need to tell you. The shaft, my personal record with the shaft, regardless of the technique, is 170 miles per hour. But here's how I did it. I swing it with just my right arm. Because with the right arm, it's much easier to maintain the lag and release it. And so it doesn't have the same complexity of a full swing. And so I know that I can swing that thing 170 miles per hour. It's just that my swing, the technique of my swing until now was preventing me from being able to accelerate to my full potential. And I think I still have a lot of things to learn because personally, as long as I'm not able to reach 170 miles per hour, which I've been able to do with a shaft, it's just that I have something that is preventing me from reaching my maximum physical speed. So I think 150 is still a decent goal. As I told you, the goal is not to go completely crazy because if I can just get to 150, that's still a massive improvement in terms of how fluid I've become with my swing. So anyway, so that's kind of where I want just 1 mile per hour per mesocycle better and managing fatigue and keep doing the speed training week after week after week because that's kind of the thing that I've been doing. I've been doing the speed stick for a while and stopping and everything. So I'm going to try this year. You know what? Is that the only thing I do? And that's something also I've been thinking last year and I want to think about this year is if that's the only thing I do this year, will I be satisfied? And if I reach that kind of goal in strength, power, and speed training that year, despite the fact that I have business to run and I'm probably not going to be able to work a ton of my game, yeah, that's already some good goals despite all the constraints that I have. So I'm pretty happy about it, but that's not all. Yeah, I'm an overachiever for a big reason. So a big fat, yeah, that's the word, fat. A consequence of actually stopping training and working my ass off for 6 months straight without taking a break and just don't giving any regard for what I was eating and everything, I gained a ton of fat. I came back. So remember last year I finished at 12.6, which I am now at 20. Yeah, I'm a big fat ass. Anyway, so that's not gonna work. But as I told you, I am clearly I cannot do what I did last year because last year I was spending 2.5 hours in the gym plus 2 hours on the driving range every day for 3 months. Clearly I cannot do that. So I'm going to rethink it a lot differently than I did last year. And also I'm getting tired of those weight change. Losing fat, gaining fat, losing fat. So my approach this year is going to be completely different. I'm going to just try to get a consistent deficit week after week after week for an entire year. And so here, this is my goal for the end of this year. I want to get to a 5% body fat by the end of the year. I'm basically going on a long-term cut where I'm going to be losing fat month after month after month with the goal of getting to 5% body fat. Actually, that's not 5% because my scale that I have is kind of offset a little. Because when I was 12.6, actually I went to a professional nutritionist, which told me that I was more kind of 14.6. So that was about even maybe 15.6. So they were about 3% off. So what I want, the reason I say 5% on my scale, on the thing I'm going to measure myself on is because I'm not going to be 5%, I'm probably going to be 8%. And so 8% at the end of a cut means that when you get back into eating normal and everything, you might get up to 10%. And actually, no. So I want to get back to that by the end of November, so I can just chill and relax during the month of December, which have a lot of celebration, a lot of dinner, a lot of things. I'm going to probably eat a lot, which is going to probably get me back to 10%. So if I go down to 8%, then I do whatever the fuck I want during December and getting back to 10%, and then I came back to the year after that trying to maintain my 10% for the entire year. So that's kind of the last goal. My health, not necessarily my health, but yeah, probably my health always, because during the time where I worked a lot, I actually almost burned out multiple times. That was insane. So that's that. I forgot just one last thing that I wanted to share. Is the future of my YouTube channel, because as I told you, I'm not going to train that much. So even though this video you're seeing is on this YouTube channel, actually I'm going to create a new one, which is this one. For now it sucks. It sucks because I'm just going to work on it. I didn't work on it that much. But here is going to be my official Tom Forest Golf, but kind of educational content. Where here, that's why I kind of renamed it. Last year it was just Tom Forest Golf. That's why I call it Tom TV, because as I'm going to get back to training, as I'm going to get back to filming myself and everything, I'm going to keep documenting. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to post all of my training here. And so that's kind of TV. I'm live streaming. I'm probably also going to try to do some live stream on the golf course when I can. Anyway, so that's kind of where I document my journey for the last 5 years already. Yeah, already 5 years. Wow. But here I'm going to start, and that's also a goal that I have, one long form video a week of educational content, because now that I've written a book, it's not finished yet, but I have a ton of content with the course, the training program, and so I'm going to start using that also as marketing pieces, because I'm running ads, but ads cost money, and I'm not full of money yet. So I need another way to kind of make sales and kind of make people know I exist. And so what I want to do is start also posting content consistently day after day and week after week. So I think I'm going to start easy. We'll see as I grow, but first of all, one long form video a week and one short form video a day. That's my goal coming into 2026, every single day of the year, starting next week, because those first few days doesn't count. I'm starting with my mesocycle, with my training program that you saw, just getting myself into it. But yeah, starting next week, every single day a short, one day a week long form video. And first, I'm going to do very minimal editing, almost no editing at all, because I don't have the time. But as my business makes more money, I'm probably going to hire an editor to improve the quality of the video. So the video are going to be released every single week, but the quality in terms of editing, B-roll, and everything are going to increase steadily over time, over the course of this year. But immediately in January, I'm going to get into the habit of posting every single day and every single week on this YouTube channel. And this one, well, it's going to really depend on the time that I have for training. I don't know. We'll see about that. Anyway, that was a lot. I hope you enjoyed that kind of my review. And really looking forward to what's coming for this year. I don't know. I really hope. Honestly, I don't know. I just cross my finger. Everything's gonna be okay. Let's get it. Bye. Thanks.